My college sweetheart dumped me. She said I didn't have a heart, that I simply didn't love her. She cried as she accused me of being born emotionally deficient, claiming I would never understand what it felt like to love someone. I nodded and admitted she was right. After all, a psychiatrist had diagnosed me with exactly that years ago. Later, while I was drinking at a bar to process the event, a woman in a high-end tailored suit sat down next to me, wine glass in hand. I hear you were born without feelings. Her fingertips grazed my wrist. Want me to teach you how to date? We can start with kissing. Later, when my ex saw our wedding photos on Instagram, she completely lost her mind. When Chloe broke up with me, her eyes were as red as a rabbit's. Julian, I can't do this anymore. Her fingers gripped her coffee cup so hard her knuckles turned white. 5 years. 5 whole years, and you've never once said you love me. I nodded. Okay. When I had a fever of 102, the medicine you dropped off had the receipt tucked underneath it. You circled the amount in red pen. Splitting finances is fair, I said. She started sobbing, her shoulders shaking violently. Julian, you literally have no feelings, do you? You're missing something fundamental, aren't you? I thought about it. When I was 12, the shrink had said exactly that. Emotional detachment disorder, congenital, incurable. But the doctor also said it wouldn't affect daily life, only intimate relationships. I had told Chloe this honestly back then. At the time, she hugged me and said it didn't matter, that she had enough love for both of us. Evidently, it wasn't enough. I can't take it. Chloe wiped her face, grabbed her bag, and stood up. I want a boyfriend who loves me, who aches for me, who is happy because I'm happy and sad because I'm sad. Not a human logic processor. I looked at her. So, you've decided to terminate this relationship? Yes. All right, I nodded. I'll compile a spreadsheet of our shared expenses from the last 5 years and email it to you tonight. As for gifts, I'll reimburse you for what you gave me. You don't need to return what I gave you. Chloe stared at me for 10 seconds. Then she picked up her ice-cold Americano and splashed it right in my face. Julian Thorne, her voice trembled. You are truly the worst human being I have ever met. Coffee dripped down my chin. I pulled out a napkin and wiped my face. Do you need me to cover the cleaning fee? Chloe smashed the cup on the floor and stormed out. The bar lights were dim. I ordered my 4th whiskey. Alcohol didn't do much for me. I didn't get drunk. My reaction time just slowed down. But the doctor said people should drink at times like this. It was a social ritual. In the booth next to me, a couple was making out. I looked away. My phone lit up. Chloe had sent a long text. The gist was that she had been too impulsive earlier, asked if I was okay, said she actually still loved me, but was just tired, and if I could just change a little bit. I replied, no need. Let's make the breakup clean. Since you said what you said, I don't want to waste your time anymore. Then I blocked her. Clean. When the 5th drink arrived, someone sat on the bar stool next to me. It was a woman. Black blazer, matching trousers, hair pinned back revealing a very pale neck. She didn't look at the menu, just told the bartender, same as him. Then she turned her face to look at me. Julian Thorne? She asked. I nodded. Elena Vance. She extended a hand. I shook it. Her hand was cold. Do we know each other? I asked. We do now. Elena took her drink and took a sip. Heard you just got dumped. News travels fast. Chloe posted a story on Instagram, crying about how she wasted 5 years of her youth on a dog, complete with screenshots of her chat logs. Elena turned her phone to show me. Someone in the comments dug up your LinkedIn headshot. I glanced at it. It was my ID badge photo, low resolution, but recognizable. Are you a friend? I asked. No. Elena set her phone down. I'm your next girlfriend. I paused. I don't plan on starting a new relationship. I didn't ask for your opinion. Elena turned her body, her knee lightly brushing my leg. Heard you have an emotional processing disorder. Yes. What did the doctor say? Congenital, incurable, advised to avoid deep intimate relationships. Elena Laugid. Her eyes curved when she smiled, but there was no warmth in them. Quack doctor, she said. Emotions aren't a disease. They don't need curing. You just haven't learned them. Learned? Like learning math, learning to drive, learning to cook. Elena swirled her glass. What you lack is a methodology and practical guidance. I looked at her. I can teach you, she said, starting from the basics. Why? Because you're my type. Elena said it with absolute confidence. Plus, I just finished a 3-year project and I have free time. Teaching someone how to love sounds more interesting than a merger and acquisition deal. I don't. Trying won't cost you a dime, she interrupted. Or are you saying you're too scared to even try? Reverse psychology. Very basic, but she was right. I had nothing to lose. How do you teach it? I asked. Elena leaned in closer. She smelled faintly of perfume, something like cedarwood mixed with a cool floral scent. Lesson 1, she said, lowering the threshold for physical contact. Then her hand pressed against the back of my neck. Her palm was warm, completely different from the cold handshake earlier. My spine stiffened. Don't move, Elena said. In this situation, a normal person's heart rate would accelerate, breathing would become irregular, and skin temperature would rise. What do you feel right now? I ran a diagnostic in my brain. It tickles a little, I answered honestly. What else? Your nails are a bit long. Elena chuckled low in her throat. Her fingers applied slight pressure, squeezing my neck. How about now? Still ticklish. She withdrew her hand and took a sip of her drink. Looks like a war of attrition, she said. Where do you live? I'll drive you home. I can get myself. Part of the curriculum. Elena was already standing up, grabbing her blazer, simulating the post-date drop-off. Let's go. I called a designated driver service via an app because both Elena and I had been drinking. She only had half a glass, but she said good citizens shouldn't drink and drive. In the car, she gave a driver an address. It was my apartment complex. How do you know where I live? I asked. Chloe's Instagram had a photo of you two picking up takeout. The building in the background is very distinctive. Elena leaned back against the seat, eyes closed. The Aurelia, Tower 3 penthouse. Correct. Correct. MMH. She didn't say anything else. The driver, a middle-aged man, kept glancing at us in the rearview mirror. When we arrived at the entrance, Elena opened her eyes, scanned the code to pay, and naturally followed me out of the car. You should go back, I said. Walking you to the lobby, she walked beside me. Also proper etiquette. We were the only two people in the elevator. The mirrored walls reflected her profile. She was looking down at her phone, the screen's glow illuminating her face. Her eyelashes cast shadows, making her cold features look a bit softer. We're here, I said. The elevator doors opened. I walked out and took out my keys. Elena followed. Thanks. Good night. I stood at the door, not opening it. She tilted her head. Not going to invite me in? It's late. It's only 11. Elena glanced at her watch. Besides, lesson 2 starts now. What is it? The game of invitation and refusal. She took a step forward. I instinctively stepped back, my shoulder hitting the door. In a normal pursuit dynamic, one party attempts to enter the other's private space. You can refuse, but you need to consider the cost of refusal and the other person's feelings. I looked at her. So what should I do now? Simulate it, Elena said. For example, I say I'm thirsty and want to come in for a glass of water. How do you respond? I thought for a few seconds. There's a filtered water station in the hallway. I can take you there. Elena Loget. 0 points, she said, but very on brand for you. She reached out and plucked the keys from my hand. Click. The door opened. However, she pushed the door open and looked back at me. In practical application, sometimes you don't need the other person's consent. Elena acted as natural as if she were in her own home. She kicked off her heels, walked barefoot on the hardwood, and went to the kitchen to get water. I stood in the entryway, watching her back. Your place is pretty clean. Her voice came from the kitchen. Like a model unit. I closed the door. Sit, I said. Elena came out with 2 glasses of water, handed me one, and sat on the sofa. She looked around, her gaze sweeping over the empty TV wall, the coffee table devoid of any decor, and the wall-to-wall bookshelf. The bookshelf was filled entirely with technical manuals and professional literature. What do you do at home normally? She asked. Read, process work, exercise. No movies. Rarely. Music. When necessary. Friends. No close friends, I said. Colleague relationships are kept strictly within professional boundaries. Elena nodded and drank some water. Then she patted the sofa beside her. Come sit. I walked over and sat down, leaving at least 2 people's worth of distance between us. Elena glanced at the gap. Lesson 3, she said. Gradual reduction of safe distance. She scooted over. Her leg pressed against mine. I instinctively wanted to move away, but she pinned my knee down with her hand. Don't move, she said. Feel it. Feel what? Body temperature, texture, pressure. Elena's hand remained on my knee. And your current emotional index. I don't have emotions. Then physiological reactions. Her hand moved up slightly. Change in heart rate, muscle tension, any impulse to push me away or pull me closer. I assessed myself. Heart rate normal. Muscles are indeed a bit tight, possibly due to lack of habit. No impulse to push away or pull close. Honest. Elena withdrew her hand, but her leg stayed pressed against mine. At least you don't lie. She leaned back into the sofa, looking up at the ceiling. Do you know what a normal person would be doing right now? What? They'd be nervous, overthinking, guessing the other person's intentions, weighing whether to advance or retreat. But you skipped the entire psychological drama and went straight to objective feedback. That's actually kind of interesting. Elena turned her face to look at me. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. She stood up. Where's the bathroom? I want to wash my face. I pointed the way. Elena walked into the bathroom and closed the door. The sound of running water followed. I sat on the sofa, looking at the spot on my knee where she had pressed. No tactile sensation remained, but the memory was clear. 5 minutes later, she walked out. Water droplets clung to her face, and strands of wet hair stuck to her temples. She grabbed a tissue to wipe her face, then asked naturally, "Got any pajamas? Lend me a set." I paused. "You're staying over?" "Too late. Too lazy to go back," Elena said. "Besides, lesson 4 is sharing private space. Staying over is the highest level of practice. This doesn't align with the syllabus?" She raised an eyebrow. "I'm the teacher. I make the rules." I went to the bedroom and grabbed a clean t-shirt and sweatpants for her. She took them, inspecting them. "No andar. Never mind." She turned back toward the bathroom. "Next time, keep some in stock." The bathroom door closed again. I stood in the living room, listening to the water, and for the first time felt that my apartment was a little too quiet. When Elena came out wearing my t-shirt, the hem hung down to her mid-thighs. The sleeves were too long, rolled up twice. The sweatpants were obviously loose at the waist. She held them up with one hand while drying her hair with the other. "Hair dryer?" she asked. I got it for her. She stood in the bathroom doorway, drying her hair, the noise buzzing in the air. I sat on the sofa, opened my laptop, and started organizing the shared expense spreadsheet for Chloe. The dryer stopped. Elena walked over, sat next to me, and leaned in to look at the screen. "You're actually doing the accounting. Necessary post-breakup procedure. She won't take your money. Whether she takes it is her choice. Giving it is my responsibility." I typed on the keyboard. Elena watched me for a moment. Then she reached out and snapped my laptop shut. "Lesson 5, she said, switching focus." "What?" "You should be focused on me right now, not your ex-girlfriend's bill." She slid the computer away onto the coffee table. "Class time. No processing personal business." I looked at her. "How do I calculate tuition?" "We'll see how much you've learned when I'm done teaching." Elena sat cross-legged on the sofa, facing me. "Now let's do an exercise." "What exercise?" "Eye contact," she said, "Look into my eyes. Do not look away." I complied. Her eyes were deep brown, shifting slightly to amber under the lights. The pupils were distinct. I could see my own reflection. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. She suddenly blinked. "Your eyelashes are really long," she said. "Thank you." "You're welcome." She leaned forward slightly. "Now, describe your current feelings." "Visually, your iris texture is very clear. Physiologically, my eyes are a bit dry. Psychologically, no particular feeling." "Do you want to kiss me?" she asked. I paused. "No. Honest." Elena smiled. But incomplete. She suddenly reached out and cupped my face. The distance vanished instantly. Close enough to count her eyelashes. A normal person at this proximity, her voice was very low, would feel the impulse to kiss. That's hormones and instinct. You don't have it, which means your instinct needs to be awakened. How? How do you awaken it? Shock therapy. Then she kissed me. A touch, then separation. I froze. "Feelings?" she asked, her hand still holding my face. "Lips are soft," I said. "Temperature higher than I imagined." "A bit. Vet." Elena laughed out loud. "What else?" "That's it." "Okay." She kissed me again. This time it lingered. 3 seconds? Maybe 5. When she pulled back, I saw a sheen of moisture on her lips. "Now." I was silent for a few seconds. Heart rate seems faster. I touched my chest, but I'm not sure if it's due to nervousness. Progress. Elena let go and leaned back into the sofa. "That's it for tonight. Where do I sleep?" "Guest room." "Lead the way." I took her to the guest room. She grabbed the hem of my shirt from behind. "Lesson 6, she said. Physical guidance." She held onto my shirt like that, following me to the guest room door. I turned on the light. The sheets were gray, patternless. Like a hospital ward, Elena critiqued. "Do you need anything?" "Good night, Quiche." I looked at her. "That's an extra service, requires additional credit hours." She smiled, then pushed the door open and went in. "Good night, Julian." The door closed. I stood in the hallway for a moment, and I touched my lips. The next morning. Morning run, shower, breakfast, fried eggs, toast, coffee. At 7:30, Elena came out of the guest room. She had changed back into yesterday's clothes, jacket draped over her arm, hair retied, looking completely awake. "Morning," she said. Morning. I plated the eggs. Eat. Yes. She sat down, naturally taking the coffee. I handed her and taking a sip. What's your schedule today? She asked. Work. When you get off? Normally 6, but there might be meetings. Oh, she cut into her egg. I'll be downstairs at your office at 5:30. I looked up. For what? Picking you up from school. Elena took a bite of toast. Then continuing class. I haven't agreed. You didn't refuse last night. She interrupted me. Not refusing implies consent. That's one of the unspoken rules of society. I thought about it. I hadn't explicitly said no. How long does the course last? I asked. Until I'm satisfied. Elena put down her fork. Or, until you learn. What is the standard for having learned? When I confirm that you possess a complete emotional response mechanism. She wiped her mouth. Including but not limited to romantic attraction, jealousy, longing, possessiveness, and the ability to lose control for someone. I felt this was unlikely. How could someone like me, void of emotion, learn that? But she said trying didn't cost anything. Okay, I said. Elena smiled. She stood up, walked around the table to my side. Then she bent down and kissed me on the cheek. Today's key takeaway, she said. A morning kiss can boost the mood index for the entire day. I touched my face. Is your mood boosted? I asked. Yep. She picked up her jacket. Leaving now. See you tonight. She walked to the door, changed shoes, opened the door, then looked back. By the way, give me your door code. Why? So I can come straight in tonight, she said matter-of-factly. Knocking is too much trouble. I looked at her. 0927. Birthday? Yeah. Easy to remember. She nodded. See you tonight. The door closed. I sat at the dining table and finished the rest of the eggs. Then I touched the spot where she had kissed me. No special feeling, but breakfast did seem to taste a little better than usual. At work, my phone buzzed. Elena sent a photo. It was a conference room, people sitting around a long table. She was at the head, profile to the camera, reading a document. Zoning out, thinking of you. The text popped up. I replied with a question mark. She replied instantly. This is a demonstration. Normal couples message each other during work breaks to express longing. But I'm not thinking of you. I typed. Pretend. Lying is against my principles. Then think of me now. I looked at the phone, then replied, thinking of you now. Elena sent a smiley face. Good boy. I didn't reply again. At 3 p.m., she messaged again. What do you want for dinner? I'm booking a place. Anything. Allergies? None. Okay. 5 minutes later, she sent a reservation screenshot. The kind where the average check is 4 figures. Employee benefits, she said. I put down the phone and continued processing reports. But 10 minutes later, I picked it up again and replied, thanks. She didn't reply. At 6:05 p.m., I went downstairs. Elena's car was parked at the curb. A black sedan. She was leaning against the door, looking down at her phone. Passers-by were looking at her. She looked up and put away her phone. Punctual. She said, get in. The car interior smelled of the same perfume she wore. What are we learning today? I asked. Date protocol. Elena started the car. Including but not limited to pickup, dinner together, post-dinner activity, and the ambiguous phase after drop-off. Sounds very programmatic. Romance is essentially a standardized process. Most people just package it as mysticism. She turned the wheel. We start with dinner. The restaurant was quiet. Every table was separated by screens. Elena ordered without asking my opinion. Lesson 7, she said while waiting for the food. Balance of dominance and submission. In certain contexts, one party making all decisions lowers decision fatigue and increases date efficiency. But in other contexts, joint decision-making increases engagement. I countered. She raised an eyebrow. Previewed the material? Basic social logic. Not bad. She poured some water. But in romance, logic often yields to emotion. Like right now, you should feel taken care of, or perhaps a bit annoyed that I didn't ask your opinion, rather than rationally analyzing the pros and cons. I thought for a moment. I genuinely don't feel annoyed. I know. Elena rested her chin on her hand, watching me. So, we need to manufacture emotion. The food arrived. She had ordered signature dishes, exquisitely plated. She picked up a piece of fish with her chopsticks and naturally brought it to my mouth. Try it. I paused, then opened my mouth and ate it. How is it? She asked. Not bad. Just that. Fresh, tender, seasoning balanced. Elena smiled. That'll do. She withdrew her chopsticks and took a bite herself. Then she paused. Wait. She suddenly stood up, leaned across the table, and brushed her thumb against the corner of my mouth. Sauce. The pad of her finger was warm. The skin it grazed felt a little itchy. I froze. She sat back down and licked the sauce off her thumb. Lesson 8, she said. Insertion of small, intimate gestures. My heart rate seemed to speed up a little again. After dinner, Elena said we were going for a walk. We walked along the riverfront for half an hour. She didn't speak, and neither did I. We just walked side by side, arms occasionally brushing. The evening breeze blew, messing up her hair. She casually brushed it back, and when she lowered her hand, it touched the back of mine. A 1-second pause. Then, very naturally, she held my hand. My fingers instinctively curled slightly. Lesson 9. She looked straight ahead, but her grip was tight. Escalation of physical contact. Her hand was smaller than mine. I could feel the lines of her palm, the temperature, and her pulse. What does it feel like? She asked. Warm, I said. What else? Your palm is sweating. Nervousness. She turned her face to look at me. I'm nervous. Can you feel it? I sensed it. Is your heart beating fast too? I asked. Yes. Why? Because holding the hand of someone you like makes you nervous. She said, it's a physiological reaction, not controlled by reason. I was silent for a while. Are you pretending to like me right now? Or is it real? Is there a difference? Yes, I said. If it's fake, then these reactions are a performance and have no reference value. If it's real, then your teaching is contaminated by variables. Elena stopped walking. She turned to face me. The river wind blew her hair. The streetlights reflected points of light in her eyes. Julian, she said, the taboo of love lessons is distinguishing between true and false. You just need to feel the present moment, memorize this touch, this temperature, this distance. As for whether I'm real or fake. She took a step forward, stood on tiptoes, and pecked me on the lips. Does it matter? I looked at her, then nodded. It matters, I said. If it's fake, then these reactions are acting. If it's real, then your logic is compromised. Elena stared at me for a long time. Then she laughed, her shoulders shaking. Julian, she wiped the corner of her eye. You really are? She didn't finish, just pulled me to keep walking. But she held my hand tighter. When she dropped me off downstairs, Elena didn't get out. Not coming up tonight? I asked. No, I have an international conference call. She glanced at her watch. Continue tomorrow. What time? Message me when you get off work, she said. I'll pick you up. Okay. I unbuckled my seatbelt, preparing to exit. She suddenly grabbed my wrist. Lesson 10, she said. Separation ritual. Then she leaned in and kissed me. Not a light touch like before, but a real kiss. Her lips pressed against mine. The tip of her tongue traced my lower lip, then pushed through my teeth, driving straight in. I froze completely in the seat. Her hand held the back of my neck, fingers caressing the skin. The kiss was deep, slow, carrying a force that brooked no refusal. Only when I couldn't breathe did she pull back a little. Her forehead rested against mine. Did you learn how to exchange breaths? Her voice was a bit husky. No. I'll teach you next time. She kissed me once more. Go upstairs. I pushed the door open and got out, my legs feeling a bit weak. When I got to the elevator, I looked back. Her car was still there, window down. She was watching me, elbow resting on the window frame. Seeing me look back, she raised her hand. And the car drove away. I stood in the elevator, looking at myself in the mirror. My lips were a bit swollen. My heart was beating ridiculously fast. I touched my chest, feeling that unusual rhythm. Is this progress? The next day at work, I was distracted. During the meeting, the director spoke, but I didn't absorb a word. My head was full of that kiss last night and the temperature of her fingertips. Julian, the director called me. I looked up. Your opinion? The director asked. I agree, I said. The conference room was silent for a few seconds. Then someone laughed. Julian, the director was asking about the error in the budget spreadsheet. A colleague next to me whispered. I looked down and saw the screen indeed displaying a budget sheet. Apologies, I said. I drifted off just now. The director looked at me, said nothing, and moved to the next topic. After the meeting broke up, a colleague leaned in. Something's off, Julian, he winked. Dating someone? No. Come on, that expression you had earlier, like your soul was snatched away. The colleague bumped my shoulder. Who is it? Anyone who can crack the iceberg, Julian, must be impressive. I ignored him and packed up to leave the room. My phone buzzed. Elena messaged. What are you doing? I typed, working. Miss me yet? I looked at those 3 words, finger hovering over the screen. Then I replied, missed you. The moment I sent it, I paused. I had lied, but it seemed not entirely a lie. Elena sent a sticker of a cat rolling around. Good boy, reward tonight. I stared at that sticker for a long time. Then I turned off the screen, but the corners of my mouth seemed to lift on their own. At close of business, Elena's car appeared downstairs on time. Today she switched cars. A convertible sports car, ostentatious as hell. She wore sunglasses, leaning against the door. Passers-by were taking photos. I walked over quickly. Can you switch to a lower-profile car? I opened the door. No. She lowered her sunglasses to look at me. Lesson 11. Desire to flaunt. When you have something worth showing off, you can't help but want the whole world to see. I'm not a thing. Correct. She started the engine. You're a person. The sports car roared out. I buckled up. Where to? My place, she said. I paused. What for? Class. Elena spun the steering wheel. Lesson 12. Mutual opening of private territory. We've already mutually opened. That was your home, not mine. She glanced at me. For fairness, it's time you tore my turf. I didn't object further. Elena lived in a penthouse apartment with a wide view overlooking half the city's night skyline. The decor was minimalist, vast swathes of white and gray, clean as if no one lived there. Make yourself at home. She kicked off her heels, walking barefoot to the bar. Drink. Water is fine. She poured me water, then took off her blazer and undid the top 2 buttons of her shirt. Lesson 13. She leaned against the bar. Domestic relaxation. I looked at her. Her shirt hem was half untucked from her waist, hair loose, strands falling over her collarbone. She looked like a completely different person from the rigorous CEO she was before. You like this at home? I asked. What else? She drank some water. Wear a full suit to cook. I imagine that scene. A bit odd, right? She set down the glass. I'll give you the tour. She showed me the living room, dining room, study, and then stopped at the master bedroom door. The door was ajar. She pushed it open. It was large inside, with a huge bed and dark gray linens. The floor-to-ceiling windows framed the night view. Neon lights reflected in, casting spots of light on the floor. Lesson 14. She leaned against the doorframe. Bedroom invitation and suggestion. I looked at her. Are you inviting me or suggesting to me right now? Both. She walked into the room, sat on the edge of the bed, and patted the spot next to her. Come here. I walked over but didn't sit. I stood looking at her. She looked up, reached out to grab my wrist, and pull me down. I lost my balance and fell sitting onto the bed. She flipped over, straddling my legs. The distance was close enough to count her eyelashes again. Lesson 15. She placed both hands on my shoulders, triggering and expressing desire. My heart sped up again. Do you have desire right now? She asked. I shook my head honestly. I don't know. Then I'll teach you. She lowered her head and kissed me. Unlike last night, this kiss carried a certain aggression. She bit my lower lip, licked across my teeth, her hands sliding from my shoulders to my back. My breathing grew chaotic. Her hand slipped under the hem of my shirt, palm pressing against the skin of my waist. I shivered. Cold, she whispered. No. Then what? I couldn't answer. Her hand moved up, stopping over my chest, palm pressing against my heartbeat. I shivered. Beating so fast, she said. Then she smiled, forehead resting against my shoulder. Lesson 16. Her voice muffled in the crook of my neck. Honest confrontation of physical reactions. I sat stiffly, not knowing where to put my hands. Finally, I lightly rested them on her waist. It was slender. Through the layer of fabric, I could feel the warmth. Elena lifted her head, her eyes shockingly bright in the dim light. Julian, she said, do you want to touch me? I was silent. Tell the truth. She squeezed the back of my neck. Yes, I said, but I don't know how I want to touch. Then I'll teach you. She grabbed my hand and pressed it against her own waist. Here, then moved it up, stopping at the ribs. Here, finally pressed it over her heart, separated by layers, feeling the softness and heartbeat beneath the fabric. And here, she looked at me. Got it. My throat felt dry. Got it. Good. She climbed off me, straightening her shirt. That's it for tonight. I froze. Not continuing. Don't bite off more than you can chew. She walked toward the bathroom. Digest that first. The bathroom door closed. Water started running. I sat on the bed, looking at my still trembling hand. Then I slowly curled my fingers. My palms still held the sensation. Soft, hot, and a heartbeat. I looked down at the obvious reaction I was having. Does this count as learned? When Elena came out of the shower, she had changed into pajamas. Silk, deep blue, making her skin look even paler. She was dry her hair, walking to the bed, and naturally lifted the covers to get in. You take the guest room, she said. Class only goes this far today. She turned her back to me. Any further, and you'll get indigestion. I stood up and walked out. Julian, she called me. I looked back. She was lying on her side, head propped on her hand, hair scattered on the pillow. Good night, she said. Good night. I closed the master bedroom door and went to the guest room. The bed there was soft too, but I couldn't sleep. My head was full of the images from earlier, her temperature, her heartbeat, her lips. I picked up my phone, opened the chat with her. Wanted to send something, didn't know what. Finally typed 3 words. Are you asleep? Sent. Almost simultaneously, her message popped up. Can't sleep? I stared at the screen, then replied, yeah, come to my room. I looked at those 4 words, fingers tightening, then put down the phone, got up, opened the door, and walked to the master bedroom. The door was unlocked. I pushed it open. She hadn't turned on the lights. Only moonlight shone in. She lay in bed, covers up to her waist, watching me. Come here, she said. I walked over, standing by the bed. She reached out, grabbed my wrist, and pulled me onto the bed, then rolled over, pressing on top of me. Lesson 17, she whispered in my ear. Solution for insomnia. Her hand slipped into my pajamas. Her fingertips were icy, giving me goosebumps. She kissed my neck. Speak. I grabbed her wrist. Too fast, I said. She stopped, propping herself up to look at me. In the moonlight, her eyes were deep as pools. Julian, she said, in romance, there is no fast or slow, only want or don't want. I want, I heard myself say, but I don't want it just because it's a lesson. She paused, then laughed, collapsing onto my chest with laughter. Julian, she laughed enough, looking up at me. You really are. She didn't finish, bowing her head to kiss me. This kiss was gentle, so gentle it didn't seem like her. Okay, she said between lips. We won't do it. Just sleep. She lay down, curling in my arms, arm wrapping around my waist. Hold me, she said. I stiffly raised my arm and hugged her. Her hair brushed my chin, tickling. Julian, your heartbeat is loud. Didn't ask you to apologize. She burrowed deeper into my embrace. Sleep. I closed my eyes. The tip of my nose was full of her scent. Cedar, floral, and a hint of sweet body wash. A long time passed. I thought she was asleep, but she suddenly spoke. Lesson 18. What? The healing function of a hug. She whispered. Feel it. I assessed. Heart rate was still fast, but it seemed less chaotic. Yeah, I said. Good boy. She spoke no more. Breathing leveled out. I held her, looking at the ceiling, feeling for the first time that insomnia wasn't such a bad thing. When I woke up in the morning, Elena was still sleeping. She was curled entirely in my arms, hand on my waist, face buried in my chest. Hair messy, strands sticking to her cheek. I gently moved her hand, wanted to get out of bed. She woke up immediately. Where are you going? Her voice was sleep-heavy, slurring. Morning run. Not allowed. She yanked me back. Sleep with me. I'm used to. Break the habit. She closed her eyes, wrapping limbs around me. Lesson 19. Changing habits for a lover. I froze and didn't move. She nuzzled my chest and fell back asleep. I looked at her face, inches away, seriously observing her features for the first time. Thin brows, high nose bridge, lips. A bit swollen, probably from last night. I reached out, lightly touching her eyelashes. She fluttered, didn't wake. I touched her lips. Soft. Warm. She suddenly opened her mouth and bit my finger. Not hard, but it startled me. She opened her eyes, smiling. Lesson 20. She released her bite. Consequences of a sneak attack. I withdrew my hand. You were pretending to sleep. Just woke up. She stretched, pajama top riding up to reveal a slice of waist. I looked away, noticing she deliberately pulled the shirt up further. You've already looked. Now you're shy? I'm not. Then why are you blushing? I touched my face. It was indeed hot. Elena laughed, sat up, and straddled my waist. It's the weekend, she said. No meetings, no business. The whole day is yours. You have nothing either. She interrupted. Chloe blocked you. You have no friends, 0 social activities. Don't try to lie to me. She was right. So, she leaned down, hands braced beside my ears. Today we do an all-day intensive course. On what? Start with morning exercise. She lowered her head to kiss me. I closed my eyes, hands finding her waist. Morning light squeezed through the curtain gap, cutting a gold line on the floor. Dust motes danced in the air. In her breathing, my heartbeat. And her mumbled words. Julian, you learned so fast. We didn't leave the house all day. Ordered delivery. Ate, then continued nesting in bed. Watched a movie. Halfway through she got bored and turned it off. Talked. Halfway through she complained I was too rational and stopped talking. In the end, we just held each other. She lay on my lap. I played with her hair. Julian, have you dated before? Besides Chloe? No. First kiss. You. She opened her eyes, tilting her head to look at me. Really? Really? She smiled, leaning up to kiss me. Then I took your virginity too. I paused. This doesn't count as virginity. Why not? She sat up. We slept in the same bed. Didn't go all the way. Counts in my book. She reasoned confidently. To me, sharing a bed is the consummation. I looked at her. Illogical. There's no logic in feelings. She lay back down. Lesson 21, remember it. I went back to playing with her hair. Elena. Why did you choose me? She was silent for a moment. Because you look teachable. She said, a blank sheet of paper. I can draw whatever I want. Just that. What else? She opened her eyes. Love at first sight. I didn't speak. She rolled over, lying on her stomach across my lap, looking up at me. Julian, what do you hope the reason is? I don't know. Then don't ask. She reached up, poking my cheek. Enjoy the moment. Remember the feeling. That's the core of the course. I held her finger. What happens after the course ends? I asked. She looked at me. Will you leave? She didn't answer, just leaned up and kissed my chin. Lesson 22, she whispered. Don't ask questions that have no answers. I went back to my own place. Showered, ate, read, but couldn't focus. My phone remained silent. At 10 p.m., she messaged, done working? Where are you? My place. I'm coming to find you. Half an hour later, the doorbell rang. I opened it. She stood outside, looking exhausted. Dead tired, she collapsed into my arms. I held her. Did you eat? I asked. No. I'll cook. Don't. She grabbed me. Just let me hold you for a bit. She hung on to me, face buried in the crook of my neck. Julian, yeah. I zoned out during a meeting today, she said. Head was full of you. My heart skipped a beat. Does that count as learning longing? She looked up at me. I nodded. Counts. She smiled, kissing the corner of my mouth. That's good then. On the weekend, Elena said she was taking me somewhere. Where? My parents' house, she said while driving. Family day once a week. I paused. It's not appropriate for me to go. Appropriate. She turned the wheel. You're my teaching result. I need to show them. Elena. What is our relationship? I asked. She glanced at me. You tell me. I don't know. Lovers. She said. I'm pursuing you. You didn't reject me. We've slept in the same bed. Seen each other's most private sides. If not lovers, what is it? I was silent. Julian, her voice softened. Do you hate this? I shook my head. I don't hate it. Then it's like, she held my hand. Liking is enough. Don't overthink it. Her parents' home was a standalone estate. The garden was full of flowers. An elderly woman was watering them. Grandma, Elena called out. The old woman turned, saw us, and smiled. Nana is back. She put down the watering can and walked over, gaze landing on me. This is Julian Thorne. Elena hooked her arm through mine. My boyfriend. The old lady looked me up and down, then nodded. Good, come in. Inside, it was lively. Elena's parents, brother and sister-in-law, 2 nephews, and a golden retriever. When they saw Elena bring me in, everyone went quiet. Dad, Mom, bro, Elena said naturally. My boyfriend, Julian. Her mother reacted first, smiling and coming over. Julian, seat. Have you eaten? I just made soup. Her father stood up too, nodding at me. Julian, right? Nana mentioned you. I looked at Elena. When did she mention me? Elena winked at me, pulling me to sit. During the meal, I was asked countless questions. What do I do? How big is my family? How did I meet Elena? When do we plan to marry? Elena blocked everything from me, confidently. Don't scare him. I chased him, took a lot of effort to catch him. Her brother laughed. Even you have days like this. Her sister-in-law put food on my plate. Eat more, look how thin you are. The 2 nephews circled me, asking this and that. The golden retriever lay at my feet, tail wagging nonstop. I was a bit dazed, but Elena kept holding my hand, her palm warm. When leaving, her mother shoved a thick red envelope into my hand. Take it, first time visiting, a small token. I looked at Elena. She nodded. Keep it. I accepted it and thanked her. In the car, I looked at the envelope, feeling a bit surreal. What's wrong? Elena started the car. Why did you take me to see your family? I asked. Because I wanted them to see you. She looked straight ahead. And I wanted you to see them. Why? She was silent for a while. Julian, she said, relationships aren't just about 2 people. They're about 2 families. You have to get used to it. I looked at her profile. Elena, I said, are you serious? She smiled. Do I look like I'm playing? I don't know. She turned the wheel, pulling the car over to the side of the road. Then she turned to look at me. Julian, I'm 30 years old. I don't have time to play. Her voice was soft but very serious. I chose you because you're worth it. I'm teaching you because I want you to learn. I brought you to my family because I want them to know who I chose. She reached out, cupping my face. Do you understand? I nodded. Understood. Good. She leaned in, kissing me. Now let's go home. I was having lunch with colleagues when I ran into Chloe at the restaurant. She was with friends. Seeing me, she froze, then walked over. Julian, she called me. I looked up. Coincidence, she said. Yeah. She looked at the colleague across from me, then at me. This is... Colleague, I said. Chloe nodded, didn't leave. How have you been? Lately, she asked. Good. Heard you're dating? I paused. Yeah. She smiled, but her eyes turned red. That was fast, she said. I just left, and you found a replacement. I didn't speak. Who is she? Chloe asked. Do I know her? No. Must be amazing to make you open up. Her voice trembled. Julian, do you actually have no feelings? Or did you just have no feelings for me? I looked at her. I don't know. Her tears fell. You're cruel. She turned and ran. My colleague looked at me, wanting to speak, but stopping. Julian, you... It's nothing, I said. Eat. But after a few bites, I put down my fork. I'm leaving first, I said. Huh? Oh, okay. I walked out of the restaurant, took out my phone, and called Elena. She answered quickly. Hello. Elena, I said. Where are you? Office, what's up? I want to see you. Silence on the other end for 2 seconds. Did something happen? No, I said. Just wanted to see you. Send me your location. I'm coming to get you. Elena's car arrived in 10 minutes. I got in. She looked at me. Cried. No. Eyes are red. She reached out, thumb brushing the corner of my eye. Chloe. I paused. How did you know? Guessed. She withdrew her hand. Only she can make you like this. I didn't speak. She started the car, driving off. What did she say? She asked. Nothing much. Julian. She asked if I have no feelings, or just didn't have feelings for her. I looked out the window. I don't know. Elena didn't speak. After a long time, she said, So do you have feelings now? I thought about it. Yes. Like what? Wanted to see you. I said. Earlier in the restaurant, I really wanted to see you. Does that count as feelings? Elena smiled. It counts. She turned the wheel, drove into an alley, and stopped. Then unbuckled, leaned over, cupped my face, and kissed me. Kissed hard, like confirming something. Julian. She rested her forehead against mine. You have feelings for me. Remember that. I looked into her eyes, inches away. Remembered. Good. She kissed me again. Now come home with me. Home. My place, your place, same thing. She sat back, rebuckling. From now on, it's our home. The car restarted. I looked at her profile and suddenly asked, Elena, do you like me? She paused. Edo. My heart beat fast. What? Because you look pitiful, she said. Pitiful, good-looking, easy to trick, plus no one will fight me for you, and you're honest. I smiled. You smiled. She glanced at me. Rare. Elena. Thank you. She reached out, holding my hand. You're welcome, she said. Pay back the tuition slowly later. How to pay? With a lifetime. That night, Elena was exceptionally clingy. From the moment we walked in, she didn't let me out of her sight. When cooking, she hugged me from behind, chin resting on my shoulder. Julian, will you leave me? I paused. No. Why? Because you won't let me leave. She laughed, kissing my neck. Smart. Eating, she sat on my lap, insisting I feed her. Eat yourself, I said. No. She opened her mouth. I fed her. She chewed, eyes curving into crescents. Delicious. I made it, of course it's good. Narcissist. After showering, she wore my t-shirt, dancing in the living room. No music, humming to herself, barefoot, spinning on the floor. I sat on the sofa watching her. She danced over, sitting on my lap. Julian, she said, I love you. I froze. She looked at me, eyes bright. I wanted to wait for you to say it first, but I couldn't wait. She leaned close. So I'll say it first. I opened my mouth. No sound came out. She smiled, forehead against mine. Don't need to respond now, she said. Tell me when you're ready. I held her tight. Weekend. Elena said we were going shopping. Buying what? I asked. Clothes. She dragged me into a men's store. For you. I have clothes. Not enough. She picked up a shirt and held it against me. You'll be going out with me often. Need to dress better. I let her manipulate me. Tried on a dozen outfits. She finally chose 5. Charge it. She handed the card to the clerk. I stopped her. I'll get it. No. She pushed my hand away. I'm buying clothes for my boyfriend. It's the natural order of things. The clerk laughed nearby. I had to let go. After clothes, she dragged me to buy rings. This one, she pointed at a pair of rings in the counter. Try it. The clerk took them out. She tried the women's ring first, then put the men's ring on me. Size was perfect. We'll take this, she said. Elena, this is 2. 2 what? She raised her hand, looking at it against the light. It's beautiful. She took my hand, placing it side by side with hers. 2 rings, glinting under the lights. Julian, she said, wear this, and you're my man. You can never leave me now. I looked at her profile. You're my woman too. She froze, then laughed out loud. Right. I'm your woman too. She leaned in, kissing me amidst the clerk's surprised gaze. Sealed with a stamp. She said, Chloe sent me a text. Let's meet. One last time. I looked at that text for a long time, then replied, okay. We met at the old coffee shop. When I arrived, she was already there. She had lost a lot of weight, eyes swollen like she'd been crying. Sit, she said. I sat down. You really changed. She looked at me. Your eyes look different. I didn't speak. Does she treat you well? She asked. Yes. You guys. How far along are you? I touched the ring on my ring finger. Chloe saw it, pupils contracting. A ring. Yeah. She smiled, tears falling. So fast. She said, 5 years with us, and you never thought of giving me a ring. Because I never thought about marriage, I said honestly. And now? You do. Yes. Because of her. Yes. Chloe covered her face, shoulders trembling. Julian, you really are cruel to me. She cried. All this time I thought you just didn't have a heart. Turns out you just didn't have one for me. I remained silent. She cried for a long time, then looked up, wiping her tears. I came today to apologize. She said, that day at the restaurant, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. It's okay. Also, I wish you happiness. She stood up. Even though I don't want to wish you happiness at all. She left. I sat there, watching her back through the window. My chest felt a bit stuffy, but soon my phone buzzed. Elena messaged, where are you? I'm coming to pick you up. I sent the location. Half an hour later, her car stopped at the curb. I got in. She looked at me. Cried. No. Eyes are red. She leaned over, kissing me. Did she bully you? No. Then what? She said she wishes me happiness. I said, Elena opposite. And she smiled, rubbing my hair. Good boy. The car drove off. Julian, she said, are you happy? I thought about it. I don't know. Are you happy being with me? Happy. Then that's enough. She held my hand. Happiness is too abstract. Happy is tangible. I looked at our interlaced hands. The rings clinked together lightly. Elena. I love you. The car braked hard. She turned to look at me, eyes wide. What? Did you say? I love you. I repeated. She looked at me for a long time, then lunged over, kissing me fiercely. Julian, she said between lips, you've successfully graduated. Story complete.